Recently, artists like Brent Faiyaz and Forbats have brought that neo-soul sound back to their beats. But what are the secrets behind the production and their love for these neo-soul beats? Let's find out by listening to Wherever I Go. So first, we want to start off with some guitars. To spice it up, I added these guitar note slides. You can see where I've left the gap for guitar chords, and that's because I wanted to fill in that gap with this lead from Splice. Next, I added acoustic drums to give it that neo-soul sound, and I've used addictive drums with the jazz bundle. Notice how some of the notes are actually off the grid. That's to give it that realistic playing in feel, and I also layered 2 snaps. And then I added extra percussion and some swells to give it that soulful movement. And just like any old neo-soul sample, the layered rows match with some rich 9th chord. Then I added some higher keys with some strum notes to give it an ambient sparkle texture. Looking at the bass, I wanted to match something to Brent's Rehab. So I ended up playing in this. You can see I created an automation so it was sliding the bass down a note. Then I just added this flute from Splice. Then I recorded some vocals and I pitch correct them in new tone, which allowed me to create a melody closer to the chords. Then I just pitched them up an octave and they sound like this. Then I added in this string with a half step to give it that tension. And lastly, I added this glockenspiel to match the lead. And this brings me on to creating the beat part. First, I got the sample and just dropped it down by 3 semitones. I noticed their beats use a lot of old school drums, a lot of sounds that come from the early 2000s from producers like D'Angelo and Ninth Wonder. And you can hear this on Forbat's song Effing You. For the hi-hats, they tend to use a multiple. For a lot of them, I've used this shift tool just to give it that more realistic swing. You can see again for this hi-hat, I've actually just placed it off the other one. Then I've just added extra old school percussion to sound like this. Then I've just layered multiple snares, claps and snaps. For snares, you want ones that are crispy that sound like this. When you play them together, it sounds like this. Then you just want that hard hitting kick. And when you play this all together, it all sounds like this.